Hey there, it's Michelle from the Jane team, dropping in to tell you a little bit about who we are and what we're all about. Jane is secure, cloud-based practice management software with all the features you need to run and grow your physical therapy practice. We offer free data importing with dedicated onboarding specialists and unlimited customer support with every subscription. Our goal here at Jane is to be as helpful as possible so you can focus on doing what you do best, helping your clients. Come get to know us at jane.app/physical therapy. If you're ready to get started with Jane, you can also mention ICE Physio in your sign-up notes, and we'll give you a 1-month grace period to settle into your account. We'll talk to you soon.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Julie Brower, and I am a TA for the Older Adult Division, and that is alongside our lead faculty, Christina Previtt and Dustin Jones. So it's Wednesday, which means it's Jerry on Ice Day. So we're talking all things older adults. So first off, let's just kind of go over a couple of courses coming up. Next week, March 2nd, starts our next 8-week online cohort. So typically we have a ton of students who sign up in the last week. So if you're interested, make sure you jump on that ASAP. On the road, Dustin and I will be in Atlanta next weekend, and then we will be in Oregon on April 2nd and California on May 14th. So only always, if you have any questions about any of our courses, please reach out to any of us. We will be happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, so let's dive into our topic. Becoming a resource dealer and a matchmaker. So this may sound familiar to you guys. Jeff Moore's 2022 New Year's episode was amazing. He basically gave us some marching orders for 2022 about being a resource dealer and a matchmaker. And I believe that he actually gave some credit to Zach Morgan for coming up with that term, being a resource dealer. So thank you to Jeff and Zach for the inspiration for this episode. So what Jeff was talking about is that we need to be a resource dealer in the sense that we need to find like-minded physicians. We need to find physicians that also want our patients to become robust human beings and become as fit as possible. We want to find the people that are going to wall out all the BS, creating that ecosystem where we're all singing the same tune and we're all sending the same message. When it comes to matchmaking, Jeff mentioned that we need to be familiar with all of the fitness facilities, the micro gyms, the coaches, the instructors in our area. Because when that patient comes in to see us, we know that we want the end goal to be that they become a robust human being. However, if we are people who do CrossFit, our patient may not be into CrossFit, which is completely fine. Maybe they're into yoga. Maybe they want a run club. We need to have connections to and know who those fitness instructors are and those fitness facilities so we can create that perfect match for our patients. And so as I was listening to Jeff's episode, I realized that this concept is so critical in acute settings as well. It is so critical for our sick older adults. So when it comes to a sick older adult, what does it mean for clinicians to be resource dealers and matchmakers? I mean, it's very similar. So we need to find like-minded physicians and clinicians who don't induce fear, who don't throw around nocebos like they're confetti, who aren't going to say, you have osteoporosis and weak bones, only do water aerobics, or yeah, you have bone-on-bone arthritis, you should probably just get a knee replacement. Who don't just throw medication after medication at our patients to manage their chronic disease. We need to find the physicians and clinicians who believe, just like us, that our older adults need to be lifting heavy things off the floor for the rest of their lives. And it's not just physicians. I mean, I'm talking about us too. I'm talking about other PTs, other speech therapists, occupational therapists, all of us. When it comes to matchmaking, similarly, we need to know the senior centers around, the YMCAs, the church groups, the workshops through Area Agency on Aging, all of these group exercise classes and available resources, so that when we are with our clients and we are digging into their goals, finding out what's meaningful, finding out what exercise they like to do, we can match them up with a facility, with a workshop, with a senior center that is going to motivate them to get out of the house into the community to continue on that fitness journey. And the problem, you guys, is that we drop the ball here. Like, we don't do this piece very well. And if you think about, like, in acute care, when we go and do our discharge planning, we are so concentrated on just saying you need home health, SNF, or acute, and that's it. Or we may mention, as we're kind of walking out the door, like, yeah, you would really benefit from outpatient. Okay, bye. Or we just kind of go to case management and we dump on them all the recommendations we have without really following through, and that's about it. If we're in home health, we're with them for 8 weeks, slapping that TheraBand on them, working on trying to get them stronger, walking a little bit better within the home. And then at the very end, again, maybe we'll mention, yeah, so you would do really well if you just continued with outpatient PT. And like, that's it. That's it. We don't follow through. We don't match them up. We don't create that resource, that list of resources for them. We don't matchmake for them. And this is a huge, huge, huge issue, because how do we expect our patients to really move from sickness to wellness to fitness if we are not setting them up for success in this way? I have realized that in the grind to move our sick older adults from sickness to wellness to fitness, my fitness forward interventions are only as potent as the matchmaking and resource dealing I do. Like, this is it, guys. This is fact. So as I've been developing my particular process, and it's in progress, it's not shiny and gold yet, but I'm working on it. As I've been developing my process for how I approach my patients in home health and how I approach their plan of care, I have been really kind of thinking about these big puzzle pieces of what are the most important things to focus on in order to move our patients from sickness to fitness. So I've come up with these 4 big puzzle pieces. The first 3 I talked about extensively on my last podcast, which was reframing the sick patient. So I highly recommend you guys go back and listen to that one as well. So what are those first 3 puzzle pieces? We have our fitness forward interventions, decreasing sedentary behavior, and managing chronic disease. So our fitness forward interventions, everyone in this crew who's listening to this podcast right now, we got that, right? We know what that is. That are our creative loading strategies, our sexy deadlifts, our squats, our AMRAPs, our EMOMs, having our older adults do awesome, epic stuff with weights around the house, all of that stuff. We're battling the underdosed exercise. Fitness forward interventions. Then we have decreasing sedentary behavior and managing chronic disease. And I talk about in my last podcast how decreasing sedentary behavior and managing chronic disease, when we habit stack those, we want to create this routine of getting our super sick patients just moving, getting them out of sitting in their recliners for hours and hours and hours. And a lot of the time, I am prioritizing managing chronic disease, and decreasing sedentary behavior. There are sick folks who aren't going to make it to fitness. So I will focus there and layer in the fitness. But for a lot of our folks, when we get them into a routine of managing chronic disease and decreasing sedentary behavior, one, we keep them out of the darn hospital. Two, it's a gateway drug. It makes the fitness part so much easier. The problem though, is that even if we do this amazing job on those first three pieces, we are likely not going to create a dramatic effect in their future if we don't do the last piece, which is being a resource dealer and matchmaker. We can do an awesome job, but guys, our AMRAPs and our EMOMs and our sexy deadlifts and squats, like, they're gonna be all for nothing if we don't create an ecosystem for our patients, advocate to get them the right physicians, and then get these patients out of their homes into some sort of community-based fitness. That is the key. Like, that is the puzzle piece that we need to focus on. And remember that navigating this medical system is a complete bear. Guys, and especially for our older adults. Especially for our older adults, because they are treated so poorly and taken advantage of in the medical system. And they have already been through decades and decades of meeting providers, a lot who don't listen to them, who induce fear, right? Like they've been getting the runaround for a really long time. We can filter through the BS for them. We can filter them to those physicians that are going to be key in their longevity as they age to move them towards wellness and fitness and stay out of the sickness realm. I mean, think about it for ourselves. So I just injured my shoulder a couple weeks ago. Really gnarly, some of the worst pain I've ever been in, like on the floor, in tears. Now, I knew that I was only gonna go to Jenna, Zach, or Jordan at Onward Charlotte. I knew that already. But if I was someone who didn't know that resource, and somebody came up to me and said, if you pay me $100, I will bring you to the best physical therapist in the city and you will get better quicker and save more money than if you were to go anywhere else, I would throw $100 at them. Easily. I would throw $200 at them. With how much pain I was in and how scared I was what could have been going on in my shoulder. Think of our older adults. They don't have that knowledge. They don't have someone to advocate for them. The value that we can bring being a resource dealer and matchmaker is unreal, and we just don't realize it yet. So practically, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what are some of the things that I have started doing that I have found to have some beneficial effect so far. And again, this process is totally in progress, and I would love to hear from you all about how you resource deal and how you matchmake. Put comments after the video, DM me, anything, because I want all of us to kind of contribute to putting efforts towards this piece of the puzzle. So the easiest place to start, use your social media platforms. Use that. This is where you just go on your Facebook page. If you are in the ICE Students Facebook page, if you are in our MMOA community Facebook page, if you are in any other sort of group like that, just put questions out to the audience. I made the mistake of kind of putting a blanket statement, hey, everybody, do you know this type of physician or this type of physician or this type of physician? I was asking too many questions, trying to get as many recommendations for fitness forward, Jerry, rehab pros, doctors, etc. I think what would be much more valuable and you would get more answers is if you ask like 4 one recommendation and use the recommendation feature on Facebook. This was a suggestion that Dustin had for me. And it makes a lot of sense. When we ask too many questions, we ask for too many recommendations, people get overwhelmed. So the 3 big physician groups or types of physicians that I have been trying to create a network around are cardiology, primary care, and neuro. So that's what I want to nail it down to, because most of my patients in home health, I'm realizing that these are the specialty care that they need. A lot of times they discharge home from the hospital, they don't have these people, these specialties set up, and we can have a huge impact here. So I would suggest blasting out on your social media platforms, asking specifically for recommendations for a neurologist, a cardiologist, and primary care. And to explain how this kind of has played out so far, I have a patient who I've been working with. She's got a ton of chronic disease. She had COVID, she's got diabetes, she's on oxygen. I've been working with her for quite a while. And she came to me, or when I came to her in her home for a PT session, she was telling me that her doctor was telling her she was having some increased neuropathy from her diabetes. And her doctor's like, yeah, just increase your gabapentin. Just go up on your gabapentin. And yeah, just go up on your insulin. And oh, you're lifting weights with PT. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. That's too much. Like, red flag. So how could this have played out? I could have listened to her say that and say, oh man, yeah, that's not cool. We're gonna just keep doing what we're doing. And I could go and do my EMOM or my AMRAP, and we could spend that 10 minutes getting a really good workout in. Or I could have stopped and said, like, you know what, Deborah, I don't know if this doctor is really kind of pushing you towards your goals and in the direction that we want to see you go. So I sat down, we talked about it a little bit, we did a little bit of research, found out what other physicians were in her network. I reached out to colleagues that I have for some recommendations. We found her a different primary care physician who she now loves, who she now sends videos of that I take of her working out to her doctor. This doctor is cheering me on, I'm cheering her on. She is now enrolled in a diabetes nutrition class that the doctor recommended to her. So I'm coming in, and not only are we exercising, but she is showing me all of these recipes that she's been making, increasing her vegetable intake, decreasing her sugar intake. I mean, stopping to take the time to be a resource dealer likely is going to have the biggest impact on improving her long-term trajectory towards fitness than if I would have just said, yeah, no, that's not cool, man. That sucks that your doctor said that, and got on with my deadlifts and squats. Okay? So start to think about how you can gather resources for different physicians, focusing on primary care, cardiology, and neuro. Okay. Second, I have been trying to create a network of specialized outpatient clinics and rehab pros, right? This is going to be a lot easier. Creating a network of fitness forward OTs, PTs, speech therapists, other like specialized clinicians like a prosthetist, your orthotics clinics, a seating clinic if a patient needs a wheelchair, those types of places, which is going to be absolutely key. For our patients that you know that are going to need outpatient, like I have a patient right now, chronic low back pain, okay? Chronic low back pain. He's getting to where he is not homebound anymore. His biggest complaint is chronic low back pain. I'm not going to fix his chronic low back pain. He needs a specialized outpatient PT who focuses on back pain, who's going to take his insurance. So I did my research. I reached out to some colleagues I know. Before I discharged him, he has an appointment set up with that particular clinic, with that particular therapist. Start to gather your colleagues as a network, your fitness forward colleagues. Third, start to gather a network of coaches and fitness facilities. So this can be particular to like Parkinson's groups. That's been a huge one that I've realized in home health. That's been very beneficial. Your specialized neuro outpatient clinics. I am getting a lot of patients right now that have chronic neurological diseases, Parkinson's, a lot of MS, spinal cord. A lot of times the referral is inappropriate for home health. They come, I go to see them, they were at rehab, they were having the bells, the whistles, the equipment, they were standing frames, all of this, it's not realistic in home health. I know their gains are going to be made in an outpatient specialized neuro clinic. I am telling them day one, and I'm telling all my patients day one, we need to get you to community fitness, we need to get you to outpatient specialty clinic. I'm planting that seed day one, giving them realistic goals of what we can accomplish in the home. And I'm starting to make those connections right away. And so in Charlotte, we have some really awesome specialized outpatient neuro clinics. So I've been going to my patients, showing them their Instagram pages, showing them the website, giving them the phone number so they can start to kind of do their own research and see if that's going to be a good match for them. Not only outpatient clinics, but guys, there's so many people who are PTs like us who want like a side hustle, who are fitness forward, and they want to make some extra cash on the side, and they want to have a fulfilling client-clinician relationship and be able to make, a little bit of extra money, that would go and treat your patients privately. So after you're done with home health, maybe there's a personal trainer out there. There's one in Charlotte who specifically works with folks with Parkinson's. Or a colleague who works at inpatient rehab but also wants to try and maybe pick up some clients here or there on the side. Find those people, create more resources for your patients. This needs to start day one when you evaluate your patient. You are starting to create this network and starting to build these connections and resources for your patients. This piece of the puzzle is going to be what really moves our patients from sickness to wellness to fitness. Okay, I would love to hear how you guys are doing this already. So many of you probably are absolute rock stars when it comes to matchmaking and resource dealing. Please message me, put in a comment some other suggestions of how you are doing this currently. All right, guys, have an awesome rest of your Wednesday, and we will talk again soon.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review, and be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.